Hello and welcome to the Miss Rolling In podcast. My name is Jacob Staten and as always, I'm joined by the third 118 brother who was too ugly for TV, JJ Armstrong.
That's horrible, that. It's a horrible start to this new, refreshed season of Miss Rolling In. We're here, season 4. People that are watching this on YouTube might notice something a little bit different, Jacob, and what is that?
We are now on camera. Believe it or not, JJ has just had a shower and washed his hair, so he did look worse 15 minutes ago. But yeah, we're live and kicking, aren't we? We're on vid.
For those that listen audio only, treat yourself. Look at YouTube. You can find the link on our Twitter or Instagram. Treat yourself. Throw up in your mouth and close that window back down and get back to audio. For those that are watching this on YouTube, this is a whole new world. You can comment what you like. I've had it all. I've been told I look like Anne Frank, Gail Platt, that guy from The Undateables. I've had it all. I look like this. I'm not proud of it.
The guy from The Undateables.
It is what it is. We might go to Eastbourne, but where we are going is the Premier League. So welcome to a new season of the Miss Rolling In podcast.
Well, welcome. So as we kicked off all of last season, we're going to start in the exact same place. JJ, what are you drinking?
I can actually show people now if you're on video.
Water. Get it on.
With my name written on it, which is pathetic, just so it doesn't get stolen from my girlfriend. Drinking water, my liver's taken yet another kicking, which I feel like I say every time we record now, but I need to just not drink alcohol for a while. Got another stag do coming up. So I'm losing my body ability. I can't even speak that stuff from everything. So yeah, I'm not drinking anything. What about you?
I've got the 1079.
Ooh.
I'm sipping back. Other cheap household beers are available, but this one's the best. There we go.
That's a favourite beer that I've never heard of. That. Oh, look at it, lovely.
Oh,
That's just. This is all going to be nonsense to the people listening on audio now. We've sort of ruined it a bit. Don't worry about it. It's prime.
Right. Well, JJ, something else is new this week. Dive in and talk to us.
Yeah, this is where we sell you a load of stuff. So this week we've launched a new website, missrollingin.co.uk. It's just shown up on the screen. That wasn't intentional, but we host our podcast on there now. And also we started to sell some products. So we've got an A3 Wembley poster to celebrate going up. Don't know if you remember, but that did actually happen.
Yeah, it's real.
And I've designed an A2 or A3, depending on your preference, wall chart with our Premier League fixtures. The idea being on that, each week you fill in the scores at the end of the year, at the end of the season. Hopefully you've got a piece of art there that you filled in yourself that sort of commemorates the season we've had, and you can frame it to mark the fact that we managed to get ourselves into a European spot, or at the very least, stay up. And if we don't, rip it in shreds and bin it. But that's the idea, which I think is, not to self-congratulate, I think it's a banging idea, and they look really cool. So missrollingin.co.uk. Then apparently you might make the way to us tomorrow, so we'll work on getting them shipped out. We've had quite a few orders. We'll work on getting them shipped out by the end of the week, but take a look. I think they're pretty cool. It's a bit of fun.
And anyone who's ordered so far as well, thank you very much. We are going to reinvest everything back into more posters and more cool stuff to go on the website. So
yeah,
it's really appreciated.
Also, sorry, I've cut you off there. Also, we've got the launch of an Instagram account. We only used Twitter before, but we've got Instagram now. We've got no followers on there, so do us a favour, follow us on there. It's at MissRollingPod, same as our Twitter. And today marked the release of Fantasy Football. It's back, particularly the Fantasy Premier League, the official one. So we've set up a league there. There's a link on our Twitter for that. You want to join it, the code is I6ICZD. Forest players are in it, which is incredible. So anyway, that's enough of us flogging stuff to you and promoting stuff. Quite a lot going on, but as you can see, we've got a video. We're trying to up the production this year. We're a Premier League team, so it needs a Premier League podcast,
Absolutely. And I suppose, as a Premier League team, one of the most eagerly anticipated pieces of I don't know what I'm saying here, but one of the most eagerly anticipated releases was the brand new kit, JJ.
Yes.
Which is, I don't want to say it's split opinion. It's certainly not as kind of well received as I imagine the club and Macron hoped it to be. JJ, what's your opinion?
All for it. I've, as you can see, again, plugging the video, but the background is the Trent little thing. I love that. I think that's so cool. I think it's a banger. I think the reason it's not been so well received is because I think people might perceive it to be incomplete or unfinished because there's no sponsor on it. So it might look a bit weird, but once there's a sponsor on it, I think it's going to be a banger. But I love it. I brought it straight away. I think it arrives without the sponsor. So I think I'm going to keep it that way. I think in many ways I prefer that. It looks a bit more classic, unless the sponsor makes it. Like I think Boxed really made the shirt. I think it was a really nice, clean sponsor. But if it's an ugly sponsor this year, I've got the option to keep it. But I love it. I think the Trent details was a really nice touch. Really excited to see the away in third kit. Someone that I know that didn't enjoy it, because all I saw online for the past week was you on every single Forest post or Forest social media complaining about it. What's up with you?
So, you know, the teaser they gave us of the wrought iron work from Trent Bridge on the sleeves. I got it in an instant. I knew what it was. It looked amazing. I was expecting this. As you can see, I've got my 1991 FA Cup final shirt on. I was expecting some big white collars, that pattern all over across the shirt. And as you've said, it's an unfinished training shirt. But
that's not what I said.
Well, you said that might be some people's opinion. In my opinion, it's an unfinished training shirt. The sleeves are fantastic. I like the fact it's on the sleeves, but the collar looks like two different unfinished collars on top of each other, and the rest of the kit is just bland without being classy, if that makes sense. We've had I'm not going to say exactly which one it was, but in my head I'm thinking of one in the not too distant past that was kind of very plain but very classy. This does not tick this box for me. It started out so well with that teaser with the wrought iron work on the sleeves, and it didn't. It's not cut the mustard for me, and I'll be waiting until it's a tenner at the end of the season.
I love it. I love it.
But I do have high hopes for the away in the third kit. I've got an inkling that the away kit will be yellow, as a kind of like our classic. This is what our away kit is, and I'd like something different for a third kit. I like a green one. Ooh. I would love a green one. Just throwing it out there.
I'm going white away, yellow third. I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah. But we'll see. There's been some rumours that the third kit is gold, or the away kit's gold. Apparently, I don't know how that's going to work, but yeah, I don't mind kits.
I don't mind the funky third kit. Obviously, it needs to be really, doesn't it? If you need to get as far as the third kit, but I'd yellow or white for the away kit would wash. As well, even a blue one. I'm basically just listing colours from the rainbow now. So I'd be happy with
any colour will do.
As long as it's not an unfinished Aberdeen training kit, it's fine by me. So moving on swiftly to we're going to discuss signings and basically start with a confirmed signing. So we Mr. Marinakas, God bless him, has got his checkbook out and broke our transfer record for Awoniyi from Union Berlin for £17.5 million. Quite a big, beastly striker. I think looking at him, I'm not going to lie, I don't watch YouTube highlights because they are only highlights. You don't see how bad they can be. A goal area of a game last season, which is kind of my benchmark for a good striker in a top 5 European league, is awesome. He's clearly looking at him, he's going to be a Keenan Davis type player. And exciting. It's apparently he was well thought after by not just teams in the Premier League, but teams. I believe Borussia Dortmund were interested. So it's a really good signing, and hopefully he'll hit the ground running.
Yeah, there's I think people call it the Bundesliga tax. It's obviously not always guaranteed that the transition to the Premier League they will hit those same numbers. I think for me, if he can get anywhere near 15, we're all right. We've got Johnson, who I think can chip in goals, but I think if he is anything like Davis, like people are suggesting, and he can hold up the ball and drive it forward, that's really important to the way we play, as we have seen last season. So really excited to see. It's one of those, I don't know much about him. I won't pretend to know much about him, but really look forward to seeing what he brings. Excited by what people have said that he brings. So yeah, bring it on. And it just shows that Marinakis is willing to bankers. He's dipped into the pocket straight away and broke the record signing almost instantly. So you can't ask for more than that, really.
Not a thing more. Not a thing more. Which brings us nicely into the summer's second signing, which is absolutely unbelievable. I mean,
Crazy.
There is a small caveat which I'm not too happy with, but Dean Henderson, England's Dean Henderson, on loan from Manchester United. What a signing. My only small caveat of an issue is there's no option to buy permanently, apparently. Pardon me, which is not HP. I think we should have learned from the Keenan Davis situation. I mean, it's one thing if there was absolutely no option of a option to buy. That's one thing. Still getting on loans a real coup, but I think we're going to end up possibly in another Keenan Davis situation where if he has a good season and we stay up, we're going to be priced out of the move, which is frustrating. Always an issue with loan players. I suppose an even smaller caveat is this does mean that James Garner can't come on loan again.
That's what I thought your caveat would be. I thought, because obviously you are in James Garner's fan club as the president.
Number one.
Obviously that's got in, dip into the pocket, let's maybe buy him. But I never thought Forest would have Dean Henderson, England keeper. I think people probably roll their eyes at this. I think he's Man United's best keeper. Jacob's shaking his head there. I've got friends. This is your Miss Rolling In podcast bingo. Got friends that are Sheffield United fans, so I've seen him, watched him closely for quite a while. Their first season in the Prem under him, he essentially dragged them up to that top half finish. He saved them so many points. He made one or two mistakes keepers often do, but
you fall that with a sweeper keeper, don't you?
Yeah, but he's incredible. If someone said that he wasn't an upgrade on Samba, they'd be lying to you through very, very heart-shaped eyes. I love Samba as much as the next person, but Dean Henderson is an upgrade. That is just facts. And I can't believe we've got him. I don't know how other Premier League clubs haven't gone in for him. The fact that there was even talk of an option to buy would be crazy, because I don't understand how Nottingham Forest could own Dean Henderson as a potential England number one keeper. So, again, incredible business, but I don't really know how it's come about, but I'm not complaining. It's incredible.
I think United would have been reluctant to sell to anyone who finished above them last season, who already have established people. And I think they'd be reluctant to sell to someone like Wolves or West Ham, who have the potential to kind of finish above them this season. Hence why they definitely don't see us as a threat. We've probably got a good relationship from the work we've done with progressing and improving James Garner.
Yeah.
I imagine Steve Cooper has had some kind of contact with him at some England level. I don't imagine it was a hard sell for either club or the player or the manager. So I think everybody wins. It's just that no option to buy may prove to bite us at the end of the season if the best happens and we stay up and he plays well. And obviously the fact that it means that because you can only have two loan signings in the Premier League and they can't both be from the same club, it does mean that James Garner can't join on loan. Aside from that, it's still a solid 8-9 out of 10 signing.
Yeah, incredible. I think it'll become 10 out of 10 by the end of the season. I think he'll be important to us, and like you say, towards the end of the season, we might be ruining the non-option to buy, because what happens after the season's gone? If he's as good as I think he's going to be, is it time for De Gea to move on and he becomes Man U's number one? Yeah. Where does that leave us? We're in the market for an expensive keeper then to replace him. It is all these questions. Let's worry about that later. Let's stay up first. Let's just enjoy where we're at. But, at the back of your mind, that is the questions you're beginning to ask.
Yeah. Which brings us to Giulian Biancone, signed for £5 million from Troyes.
Or Troyes, as I said before we started recording.
Troyes. No, from he. I was under the understanding that he is predominantly a right back. Reading from Daniel Taylor on Twitter, either today or yesterday, he seemed to suggest he was predominantly going to be a centre back for us, which is interesting. But having that flexibility, apparently, he can push comes to shove, play left back as well. Like a fairly young as well, decent experience in France and Belgium. So relatively low fee, especially in today's market. So I don't see there's no real loss here, apart from the fact that he's kind of untested at a real level, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I've seen a lot of people are excited by him again. I think he's one of the best defenders in his league last season. Don't know much about him, but right centre back that can play right back, that push comes to shove can play left back. That's flexibility. That's what we need. We spent a lot of season with Cole back at left back. I don't knock him in the Championship. He did a great job and he saved us a lot. But just having that flexibility and squad plays that we can rely on, I think is going to be important. So I think our defence is starting to shape up nicely. Again, not going to pretend to know much about him, but excited. He's a Red. I'm excited to see him kick on.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we're going to jump to rumoured signings now. So these will range from Fabrizio Romano, here we go, all the way to Jesus Christ, I wish that had happened. So we'll start with Naikaite, I believe it's pronounced. We've had the here we go confirmed. Apparently could be even tonight, could be tomorrow. On a £10 million deal with 5 million add-ons from Mainz in the Bundesliga, which is a bit cheaper than I'd initially understood it to be, which is fantastic. Morgan Gibbs-White from Wolves, which would be phenomenal. Harry Toffolo, who's the left back for Huddersfield, and I don't remember his first name, but O'Brien,
Lewis
O'Brien from Huddersfield, both from Huddersfield. Nico Williams, obviously, who's a fullback either side, predominantly right back though, from Liverpool as a kind of alternative to Jed Spence, and Omar Richards, who's a left back playing for Bayern Munich, who signed for them. I believe it was a free transfer. He joined them from Reading. Either last season or the season before. So, is there any of those stand out to you, JJ? Anything that you kind of, any of those that you kind of, need over the line?
Just all of them. Like, I'm thinking of a Forest squad with these players in is really, I've said it about 50 times so far, but really exciting. Gibbs White for me is the one. He makes this Forest squad. He is incredible. Get your bingo card out. Sheffield United friends, watched him a lot last season. He's phenomenal. He's way too good for the Championship. And I think he's Prem level. And the thought of him, Johnson and Awoniyi up top, come on, there's goals in that. Excited by Niakate, I don't know how you say it, but that here we go seems to be confirmed. He's the captain of a Bundesliga team, really highly rated. We're pulling captains from teams. That's impressive. There you go. O'Brien and Toffolo. Today I rewatched the Championship final back in its entirety, just because it still didn't feel real. It still didn't feel real watching it. But knowing that I had a bit more of a view on them, knowing that we were linked to them, and they're great. Didn't really notice at the time, but that O'Brien in particular was everywhere. Toffolo did a great job keeping Spence and Johnson quiet, which I think is a task in itself. But O'Brien particularly looks really good. He looks like he can drive us forward and play that Garner role. So excited for him. Nico Williams, gutted about Jed Spence going to Spurs, but Nico Williams more than fills that gap for me. He was really good last year. Fairly cheap as well, I think. Have we had a rumoured fee? Was it 10 million, 50 million? Am I making that up?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I think that's quite cheap for a player of his calibre. I think he's similar to Spence in ability, and Spence is almost double that price. So really happy for that. And he can play left back if needed again. So we've got that flexibility. Don't know much about Omar Richards, but I'll take him. I
think with Omar Richards, it's he was at Reading, but if he's good enough to even mean given the chance of buying, it means he's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, he's made some Champions League appearances. You've got to be good to do that. I think the difference is, we've got Awoniyi, who took his team to Europa. Was it Europa that he took them to? Got Niakate. I think.
No, when Awoniyi, he was playing for Union Berlin. They weren't in Europe.
But he because of his goals this season, it took him to Europa, right?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, yes, I would do that, yeah.
You've got Niakate, who I believe, played in Europe. Who knows?
May have been.
Omar Richards played in Europe. So we're getting these players in that have the ability to play in Europe and they're choosing to come to Forest. We've got a captain of a side coming to Forest. It's just a fantastic time to be a Forest fan. But most importantly, we're looking at a Forest transfer window that's structured, that's considered, that's thought of. Obviously, gutted about the loans not coming back, but not really that bothered anymore. Zinkernagel and Lowe, you look at them with emotional, bleary eyes, but they're not being they're not getting too emotional about these signings. They're making the right calls, I think. So really excited, and, it's a weird time to look at a Forest recruitment strategy and think we're doing the right things and not making mistakes. Gate and Bong and Diakabi are things of the past now.
Yeah. I think out of that list, I think Gibbs White's the most important. Because we've lost Zinkernagel. Well, I know we didn't lose him. He's gone to Olympiacos, so I suppose theoretically he could be out at any point. But that cam position is one that we don't really have an alternative in right now. And you put Morgan Gibbs White in there, and you put in a round peg and a round hole. So it's a great signing.
Are you going to do your Billy Davis impression off the back of that as standard?
Round pegs and round holes, Natalie.
Very Russian, but carry on.
We need fullbacks, which is obvious. Obviously, as both fullbacks were on loan last season. Kind of realistically thinking about it, we were never really going to get Jed Spence. Max Lowe, great player, but far too injury prone to take a risk. If there's no predetermined fee, we're going to get the same thing from Sheffield United. They're going to try and sting us for him. So I can understand why. I've seen rumours of Lowe to Olympiacos as well.
Yeah.
So theoretically could be ours at any point. But yeah, I think that list of players, and I'd like to chuck a sneaky one at the bottom and say, I've just got a feeling about James Garner on a permanent. I don't think Ten Hag will play him because he wants Frankie de Jong coming in. And I think a kind of 10-15 million fee with an option to buy back would be on the cards. I think everybody wins in that situation.
Well, they're getting Ericsson in as well, so
yeah.
Is he going to get a chance?
As much as I think he'd be worth it, he could hold his own in that team, and he deserves a chance, in my opinion. I just don't think he's going to get one. So why not come and play Premier League football with us? They've got the option to buy back. Everybody wins, especially us and James Garner. So
yeah. Just worth mentioning, this isn't technically a signing, but probably one of the most important bits of businesses. Can't speak that we have done in this window, but Brennan Johnson's contract extension. If we went up and we purchased someone of his caliber from the Championship, it would cost us considerable amounts of money. But
25 million.
But the impact that he has on the squad, he's playing Premier League football with Forest. I think it's such a important signing. I'm chuffed to bits that the likes of Worrell and Johnson are playing Premier League football with Forest. So yeah, it's a very strange time. We don't have to sell our prized asset. We can afford him. We can give him that playing time in the Premier League. So yeah, a very key bit of business that. Yeah, and he's going straight into my fantasy football team.
Oh, absolutely. Any Forest fan doesn't have Brennan Johnson in. Whew. Moving to
tell him.
Moving to the outgoings. I suppose not to dwell on this too long, but Ethan Horvath, apparently our highest earner, has gone out on loan to Luton. I think that's a very astute move. If we were to go back down, we have a ready-made Championship goalkeeper coming straight back to us, which is fantastic. He's going to get a full season of games, presumably. Although apparently they've got 4 goalkeepers now, so I hope he gets a full season of games. It's just a win-win situation. We'll want somebody of his age and caliber sitting on our bench in the Premier League, so that's awesome. And the Sweet Prince the Sweet Prince House. Brice Samba has finally moved to his to Lens. It's a bit bittersweet. I wish him all the best. Thank you for the amazing memories. I think it's something crazy. Like, he only missed 13 games in 3 seasons.
Really?
When you consider that suspensions are being sent off and things like that, it's some good going. But yeah, he will live long in the memory. And I hope Forest fans don't really kind of sour to the situation. It's just a thank you, I suppose.
Yeah, it's bizarre that he's going. Honestly, when we won at Wembley, if someone said to me, by the way, Brice Samba's not going to be your keeper next year, and after what he did at Sheffield United, after what he did the entire season, or what he's done for us over the past few years, Brice Samba's no longer going to be your keeper, I'd have laughed, because that is just so odd to think about, that he's not going to be our keeper anymore. Henderson's an upgrade, but I don't know. It didn't feel like it was needed. I would have liked to have seen Samba in the Premiership, but it is. It's what it is. Who knows what went on behind the scenes? Who knows? Yeah.
Well, I think kind of the overarching story that I've got from this whole thing is that I've heard that he got offered the same deal, which is wrong on every level from Forest. If that's the case, he deserved a pay rise and a Premier League bump, in my opinion. But kind of his claim that he deserved a pay rise in line with his stature within the club has only been cemented, in my opinion, by the outpouring of love that's been on Twitter and all over social media for him since the kind of confirmation that he's leaving. He was this beloved figure. He was a quality goalkeeper. He is in all our hearts. So, it kind of cemented that in. But also, I don't really see anyone. No one's really come out of this badly. He's moving home. He's got a good move in Liga, and we've got Dean Henderson, England goalkeeper, in goal. So it's everyone's kind of quids in. It just felt a little bit unnecessary overall.
Yeah, very. I think Forest fans talk to him a lot because of his shithousery, and you know what he's like. He loves winding up the away fans. He loves winding up the players. I can tell you now, Dean Henderson is cut from the same cloth in that respect. I think it won't take him long to win over Forest fans in the same regard. He's a bit of a shithouse himself, so I think sometimes you have to be like that to be a keeper. So I think
all keepers are wide different, aren't they?
Yeah, so we have to to literally stand there facing rockets and pingers coming at you. But I think we'll swiftly get over him, but he won't be forgotten. He's in my lifetime, certainly the best keeper Forest have had. The memories that he's given us have been amazing. That penalty shootout, we'll always remember that as a key memory in my life.
I'll never forget you saying that he's terrible at saving penalties.
Didn't say that. I didn't say he's terrible at saving penalties. I said he's not going to save one because you didn't. Because it's just the Forest way. But he very funny for people that can see the video. Jacob's an insert expletive here. But what was my point? Yeah, he went to that penalty shootout and he owned it. That was his penalty shootout.
Yes.
Confidence from that lad. Yeah. So thanks a lot. That's all I can say. I'll miss you, but we've got Dean Henderson, so I won't miss you that much. But I will miss you really. Love you.
So this rounds out this week's episode. The new season of the Mist rolling in. We're going to kind of do probably shorter weekly updates for you throughout pre-season. Next week we're going to look to cover off the impending friendlies. We didn't really want to do it this week because there's no ticket information been announced, so we don't know which ones we're gonna get to. I think probably everyone's going to hope to try and get to the Valencia one at Meadow Lane, which will be pretty cool. I'm personally looking forward to the Notts County one. I remember the ones we were on the pitch 3-2. That awesome games. Really good to kind of try and reignite that kind of friendly rivalry. But we'll cover those off on next week's podcast. And if you're listening again, thank you very much for coming back. And if you're listening for the first time, it's been great to have you. And you Reds.